You know, I don't care if it's football, it could be basketball, baseball, hockey. Game officials are always an easy target. They take the shots. But last year in the Canadian Football League, last year in particular, there were several instances where the criticism was certainly justified. As a result, CFL officials went to school. With more from Winnipeg, here is the CBC's Mike Beauregard.
Glen Johnson works in computers. But these days, he's preparing for his other job.
Offside. Hamilton number 44. First down.
Johnson is a CFL referee.
We have firemen, policemen, lawyers. I'm a partner in a software company. So it's a broad range of people. And I think the common bond is that we love football.
Side step, side step, side step.
Recently, CFL officials gathered in Winnipeg for their own version of training camp.
We're in a situation that
It was a chance to share ideas and cram for the upcoming season.
That is the game, and Dunnigan is steamed.
The perception is CFL officiating isn't very good. Last year, the outcomes of 2 games were directly decided by blown calls.
Candidly, there were a few plays last year we didn't do a very good job on.
George Black is the CFL's director of officiating. He thinks the officiating is good. He says of the over 15,000 calls made last year, there are only 12 he'd want back.
I don't think we've got a sick officiating situation. I think that we've got a really good, solid bunch of individuals that work well together, know the rules, and are doing a good job. But I'm seeking subtle ways of trying to make some improvements in that area and eliminate the big mistakes.
This year, the CFL is spending 6 times more money on officiating. The added funds will allow officials to travel earlier to games to better prepare and to work in regular crews rather than with different personnel every week.
We'll know what every individual on our crew will be doing on every play, because after a few weeks we'll know on certain plays that the official will be there. It's going to be easier for all of us.
The CFL has hired 11 new recruits. It will integrate slowly, and it's providing more resources for officials, like sports psychology.
Our job is to stay rational in an irrational world.
The working conditions can be hostile, and the pay isn't great.
You know, I think the guys can be compensated more. And, you know, it's tough. You take a lot of crap.
But for the men in pinstripes, this is a lifelong passion.
I've worked personally for, 29 years in officiating, and it's been my dream since I started. So just being there it's a reward every week.
For the CFL on CBC, I'm Mike Beauregard in Winnipeg.
Still second down.
All right, fellas, were you guys justified in your criticism last year? Let's begin.
Well, let me tell you a story, Brian. I'm running down the field on a punt. I've got my opposing defender draped all over me, holding on to my jersey. The ref is yelling, "Let him go! Let him go!" So I, for one, will be more than happy to see these changes be instituted. Because last I checked, holding was a penalty. So these guys definitely needed more money, more resources, and they are definitely getting that this year.
Well, and they did a lot right in 2004. You know, we need to be fair, but really what we need to understand is that as a player, if I was 90% correct, and then all of a sudden 10% of the time, George Black has a great line. He calls them wing dingers as the ones that he would like to have back. But if I had a couple wing dingers, then you know what? I am going to be on the hot seat. If it cost me a game, I'm going to be on the hot seat next year, and someone's going to be coming in and threatening for my job. But you know what? There is no system in place. Now there is, but there wasn't a system in place to actually allow it to be better going into the future.
And this is great timing.
Competition, money.
Yeah.
Great timing to have this go on for us and for the CFL, because they have 7 guys that are over 55 years old, and there's only 35 officials, so those guys are going to be moving on, maybe not able to stay up with the game. So to get these new guys from the CIS and get this training is very important. Perfect timing.
Nice to hear George Black, too, stand up and say, look, there were some blown calls. They were serious, and we're addressing it.
Well, it's great to see a guy be willing to take accountability for issues that everybody else can see. You know, we're so used in the CFL seeing guys blow smoke, you know, do a little bit of spin doctoring, etc. George Black hasn't been afraid to say, yes, we have problems, but we're going to take care of them. We're investing in the future.